that movie was quite informative. Now, as you all know, this lesson is an excerpt from Diary of a Young Girl, Diary of Anne Frank, and it is an autobiography that was first published in 1947. Now, in this, Anne expresses her thoughts in a diary which was gifted to her on her 13th birthday. And you will see that she names the diary Kitty, which she considered as her only true friend because there was no true friend to her. She mentions about her childhood, her family, and other things also. But we have very limited thing here that we will discuss, that how she felt. Now you will see that Anne Frank diary was kept during the entire, during the Nazi reign, World War II, and when she was obviously she was sent in the concentration camp, and unfortunately she died. After her death, her father decided that she was actually a Jewish girl, and since she wrote all her thoughts in her diary, all her unusual experiences she penned down, and her father thought that it would be good that if the entire world will know that how they have gone through the eyes of a young girl, the innocent girl, because an innocent girl will not mix anything else. Whatever the truth she felt, the true experience she felt, that she will pen down in her diary. Listen, diary is what? It is actually a very personal thing. So when Anne would, she might be writing this diary, she would have never known that this diary would become one of the best read book in the world. She simply wrote it. Yeah, maybe she was knowing that someday some people will read the diary, or anyone, not the entire world. Maybe some important family, maybe some friends, close friends. That is why you will see that she has introduced herself, her family, and other things also, which she was not able to convey verbally, that she wrote in this diary. But why this diary was well read and accepted by the readers throughout the world? Because they genuinely feel, I also feel, and you also feel, that there was no show up. It was not fiction. It was the real experience of a girl. No, and that is why everything is what she presented, that was presented from the bottom of her heart. My voice is not coming clearly. Hmm? I hope that's other children. Am I audible to you? Please raise your hand. Then beta, please check your own internet connection, because no one is complaining. Okay. Fine. So why people they read this book? Because they had this feeling that this girl, when she would have written this diary, she had not minced her words. It was not fiction. It was not the story. It was the real experience which she had. Because diary is what? It's a personal thing where you did not write anything practical, or you can say any artificial thing you did not write. So that is why when Otto Frank decided to publish this diary, the entire world was curious to know the feeling of a little girl during Nazi reign. And then you will, and if you will ever get an opportunity to read the original diary, there you will feel that how this diary was so you know real, full of realistic experience of a girl. Okay, now see, I'm going to read this, although you have an idea now that Annalise Mary Anne Frank, 12th June 1929 Feb March to 1945, was a German born Jewish girl who wrote while in hiding with her family and four friends in Amsterdam during the German occupation of the Netherlands in World War II. Her family had moved to Amsterdam after the Nazis gained power in Germany. but were trapped when the Nazi occupation extended into the Netherlands. So even though they moved to Netherlands, but they were not able to remain away from the Nazi, problems, you can say. As precautions against the Jewish population increased, the family went into hiding in July 1942 in hidden rooms in her father Otto Frank's office building that you have also seen in the movie. कि जो बहुत ज्यादा अत्याचार हो गया था तो they decided to move away. Father had this idea that the day will come, so he started collecting things and he started arranging for the hiding, and where they hid themselves, it was her father's office building behind that bookshelf. After 2 years in hiding, the group was betrayed and transported to the concentration camp. You all know about concentration camp? कहने के लिए camp थे, how brutally they were killed and treated there. System where Anne died of typhus in Bergen-Belsen within days of her sister Margot Frank. Her father Otto, the only survivor of the group, returned to Amsterdam after the war ended to find her diary had been saved. Who saved that diary? Miep. If you remember, the girl, the lady who used to bring groceries and other essential for the family, convinced that it was a unique record, he took action to have it published in English under the name The Diary of a Young Girl. The diary was given to Anne Frank for her 13th birthday and chronicles the events of her life from 12th June 1942 until its final entry of 1st August 1944. It was eventually translated from its original Dutch into many languages and became one of the world's most widely read books. There have also been several films, television, and theatrical productions, and even an opera based on the diary. I told you. You will also, I showed you animated movie, but the original movie is also available. So if you are interested in this diary, in this girl, and the entire Nazi reign and everything, see the real movie also. Very interesting. I have seen it. Yeah. So lot of programs, lot of serials, everything was made on this. Described as the work of a mature and insightful mind, the diary provides an initiate examination of daily life under Nazi occupation. Anne Frank has become one of the most renowned and discussed of Holocaust victims. Okay, movie's name is same, Diary of a Young Girl, or you can say Diary of Anne Frank, Life of Anne Frank, something. Okay, so now we are going to read the entries which is prescribed in your book, although I would suggest you to read the entire book if you ever get an opportunity. Now see, writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Now we know little bit about her character. What kind of girl is she? After watching the movie, discussing a lot about her. So she is saying, not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in musings in thought of 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing and I have an even greater need to get all kinds of things off my chest. Now, writing diary is why considered a great thing because sometimes you are not able to express yourself before someone. So that is why it is a really a good habit. In fact, I will also suggest you that you should also write diary, not every day, but whenever you feel that yes, there is an urge, a great desire to say something or to have a conversation with some of your friend or anyone, and if you are not able to find anyone who is actually suitable for your who will listen to you, because so it is better to pour down on your emotion on a piece of paper rather. Anger management jab hota hai na, anger management, there they teach you this also, that whenever you get extremely angry, and you can use this in your daily life also, ओके, इस एक्सपेरिमेंट को कर सकते हो, that when you are getting angry and you want to speak so many things to someone, but you know that you have a limitation. Okay, you have a limitation. Maybe nowadays you are confined in your flat, in your places, and maybe your parents, their restrictions, their discipline, they are annoying you. Then do one thing: don't answer them back. That is not a good thing. It is always better that if you're getting angry, then pour down your emotion on a piece of paper, and then do one thing. After 2 3 4 days, you, when you feel your mind is calm, you have come down and your mind is relaxed, then once again go through that thing, and then you will feel that how your judgment was not correct. Okay, so this will be quite helpful. Now what she says, that Anne really feels that it is strange and unusual for her to write in a diary about her feelings and experience, because it was the first time she was doing it. Okay, now she doesn't say that no, not only because I have never written anything before. She feels that because she thinks that I in future no one would be interested in reading about a young school girl's past. That she is, that no one will ever think. She thinks that later even she will not be interested in reading it, even she herself will not. But then she puts this thought away and decides that she should write, because if she feels like doing so, that if strongly you feel that yeah, you should write down something, then definitely don't miss the opportunity, because there were a lot of thoughts that Anne had been holding in her heart, in her mind, and it is known that writing one's thought is acting like a therapy. So she decided to write in a diary. As I told you, that I have an even greater need to get all kind of things off my chest, because so many things she has kept in her heart, which she was not able, which she did not want, or maybe she was not allowed to speak before anyone. So it is better to pen down your thoughts and write it down. It is always, as I told you, it is a kind of therapy. Even you can, whenever you are writing down something, it will be helpful. So yeah, Harsh is writing, yes ma'am, when I feel low and when I'm disappointed, I write the feeling in diary. That helped me to reduce anger and anxiety. Very good, very good, Harsh. This is the right thing you are doing. And in fact, as I told you, that this is part of reducing your therapy, as a part of anger management, one lesson. Now see, this is very important line, because question will definitely come from this. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, means no enthusiasm, no energy, wondering whether to stay in or go out. I finally stayed where I was, brooding. Brooding means thinking. Yes, paper does have more patience. And since I am not planning to let anyone else read this stiff backed notebook, grandly referred to as a diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a lot of difference. Now, what she means here, right? Our Anne feels that paper has much more capacity to absorb thoughts than people. Paper has more patience. Now, look at this line. Why patience? Because if you are going to talk to someone, maybe your friend, maybe your parents, teachers, we are human being. So we human being have some prejudices also in their mind. Prejudices समझते हो? Preconception. So if you are talking to your parents, they are also having that preconception, some prejudices. I, as a teacher, will also have. So either I will judge you on that basis when you are pouring your heart before me, or maybe intimidate you, dominate you. Okay? Again and again, I will interrupt you. Again and again, human can interrupt you. Okay? Can ask you to stop. So they will intervene in your thought, they will interrupt, they will also intimidate, they will judge you. because they all are having that preconception, prejudices, है ना? आप किसी बंदे, किसी इंसान के सामने अपनी फीलिंग रखोगे, तो दैट पर्सन नोज यू, वो आपको जानता है. सो डेफिनेटली आपकी बुरी बातों में पेरेंट्स है, वो क्या करेंगे? इंटरप्ट करेंगे. नो नो नो, दिस इज नॉट राइट. इंटरवीन इन योर थॉट. मे बी कभी वो डोमिनेट करेंगे. नो, दिस इज नॉट द राइट थिंग. मे बी दे विल जज यू ऑन दैट बेसिस. कोई फ्रेंड है, आपको शायद जज करने लगे. ओ, यू आर दैट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन. So no one will have patience to listen to you without any thought in their mind. So that's why she is writing that paper has more patience than people. She is simply saying that paper will never judge you. It has more capacity to absorb your thought, because we have people have low patience levels. Okay, and a non-living thing like paper will not refuse from absorbing your thought. Now, why, how this realization came to her? One day when she was feeling more sad and confused, what to do, what not to do, she could not even decide whether she should go out or stay at home. Then finally she decided to stay at home. She sat being depressed and deep thought. And that is why she had a feeling that come on, this is the right moment to pen down my feeling on a piece of paper, because they have more patience. They are not going to judge you, they are not going to intimidate you. Okay? And she was also having one more feeling, that she had no real friend. Real friend means what, you know? With whom you can share all your secrets. Okay? You can trust him unconditionally. So the writer again comes to that point where she thought of beginning to write, because she was lonely, she has no real friend, and there is no one whom she can call her friend and with whom she can have a conversation. So, unless I found a real friend, because till that moment, till that age of her life, she has no true friend. Now I am back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place, because I don't have a friend. So again, she is accepting that because of this, I decided this prompted me to have a diary, because I have no real friend, no trustworthy friend. Let me put it more clearly. Since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world. Yeah, that's true. Even because if you will go, abhi tum log 14 15 ke ho, and if you will go and you will say these things to your parents ki, oh mama, I'm feeling so lonely, to thappad le milega, hai na? Because and so mommy will बोलिए ज्यादा filmy dialogue mat do. hmm? So what will she will do? She will definitely scold you for this. What is this? Because we cannot, what is this feeling lonely? So that is why she says that when she will go and say something, maybe a grown up person can speak like this, but not a kid like you. So she also had a feeling that as a 13-year-old girl, if she will go and said these words to her parents, they are not going to believe her. And then she also says so. And I am not, because I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. Yeah, definitely. If you will say these things to your parent, Mama, I'm feeling lonely nowadays. Lonely, everyone is feeling during this lockdown. Okay, but loneliness has different definitions. If you will feel, oh, I'm lonely, feeling lonely in the world, then she will definitely not only scold you, but she will say, see, we all are there for you. You have so many friends, you have school, you have classmates, you have so many other work to do. So that's why she is also clarifying that she has a loving parent, an elder sister, and obviously the entire class, maybe some neighbors. I have a family, loving aunts and relatives also, extended family also, loving aunts and good home. So, no, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one true friend. But again, she is saying that I am having everything. I know that if no one will ever believe me, I have everything. Okay, I have a happy family. But oh, unfortunately, I have no true friend with whom I can share everything or all my feelings. That is the most important thing. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that's the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide. Confide means to tell personal things privately in each other. In any case, there is just how things are, and unfortunately, they are not able to change. This is why I have started the diary. Now, she says that whenever she is with her friends, she genuinely have good times. They talk about stuff, but not real stuff that is actually going on in their lives. That means everyone is simply talking, having a conversation, but they are not very open with each other. They are not sharing the real feeling to each other. So, despite trying hard, they are unable to get closer. And so, our aunt feels that maybe it is her who is not able to trust anyone with her private stuff, that she is not able to come any close to her friend. And she thinks that she cannot be able to change or share her thoughts, the real thought. Okay, because we all are, listen, we have two faces basically. When we meet someone, we are very formal. You are not actually opening your entire feelings to someone who is not very close to you. Okay, so you remain a practical, pragmatic person. Okay, or you can say a formal person where you have stuff, you speak, you laugh, you have a conversation, but you did not pour out your heart. So that is why she feels that, yeah, I have a lot of friends, and whenever I'm with them, I'm happy. I'm always, having a good time, but still, I very strongly feel that I have not even a single friend in my entire life with whom I can actually be very close and share all my problems, all my feelings with that person. So this is better that I should start writing a diary, okay? And I should pour out my heart. I should write down my real feeling, because two things now. Now, if the question will come that why she decided to write in a diary, you will see first of all that she always felt that paper has more patience than people. And the next thing was that according to her, she has no real friend with whom she can share all her secrets, all her feeling, all her emotion, all her thoughts. So because of all these reasons, she decided finally to write a diary, which she got as a birthday present. Okay, to enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I'm going to call this friend Kitty. Now, what is she saying? Kitty. Because usually, what happens when someone is writing a diary, they list down the facts in the very formal manner. Okay, but she decided, no, I will not write the diary which usually other people used to do, write down the formal thing, because she is in a great need of a close friend. Okay, and that is why she decided that she will always consider her diary her friend, and that is why she decided to name her diary Kitty, because she thought that if she will personify the diary, this is personification, if she will personify the diary, and then she will she will feel that she is much more closer to her, and she will be able to share all her feelings very nicely, elaborately, okay, with her. And so उसने अपनी डायरी का नाम क्या रखा? Kitty. Okay, since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in, it would better to provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. Now she also clarifies. Now she has a hope. One hope is there which will give you. She was not knowing what will happen. But yeah, situation was very difficult at that time because of Nazi reign, because of this Holocaust, because of everything. So she had a hope that maybe someone someday would read her diary, and it is so she decided that writing about, giving details about the background story would be good. Not okay. So despite not wanting to do so, she decided to give a brief detail about her life. Now what comes to your mind when you think about it? Maybe she had a feeling, maybe she has a premonition that one day this diary will be read by the entire world. मे बी देखो सिचुएशन तो बहुत बुरा था उस समय, उसे ये तो मालूम था कि things are not going to be as normal as any other people, other country people were having the situation. World War II was going on, बहुत प्रॉब्लम थी पूरी दुनिया में. So perhaps she had a feeling कि maybe someday someone will definitely read this diary, and it is better to give a little description, a brief sketch of her life. Because all of a sudden, if she will start writing one day, then people will not be able to correlate their thoughts with the present incident. So it is always better to provide, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, prologue when you are reading a book. So she decided to write little bit about her family. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. Now, in those days, it was actually a mature age. Why they did not marry soon? Because the situation was not favorable. She is calling her father most adorable father. Actually, when you if you have seen the movie also, then you will realize that she was very close to her father. A most sensible, okay, person he was. Not only he was having emotion, but also he was having intellect. And that is why he arranged the hiding and how he took proper care of his family. That is commendable, like any father figure, because your father, my father, everyone is looking, taking care. They are actually securing his family. His father also did that. And Anne was very close to her father. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12th June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland, Netherlands in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margot and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. Margot went to Holland in December, and I followed in February, when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. Now she's explaining, as I told you, that she is giving a brief introduction so that whenever anyone will read the diary, they will really feel that they are connected to her and her family, her background. So she starts that her father was the most lovable, adorable person in this world, and they got married at a very mature age. She and her sister Margot were born in Frankfurt, but when Anne turned 4, her father moved to Holland near Netherlands, followed by her mother in September, while both the sisters they stayed with their grandmother in Aachen. Why? Because father has to start a business so that he will be able to earn good livelihood for his family. So father and mother decided to go early, first they decided to go there and to make all the arrangements so that they can bring their family to live nice life. Margot was also sent to Holland in December, and after that, in February, right after 2 months, she was this Anne was also she also decided to move to the Holland with her grandmother. And she simply write down that when I was plunked down, this is informal, put down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. Generally, it happens in all the families. that when a younger siblings come, they are actually presented to the elder one as a present to them. That it is actually a toy for you, it is actually a playmate, anything they can call. So Margaret, they pretended that Anne Frank is actually a birthday present for her elder sister Margot. So in a manner, you can see that their life was moving on smoothly till that moment. There was no problem. Father was very intelligent, as I told you, and that's why he saw the situation in Germany. He decided to move to Netherlands, but later on, this Nazis, they did not even spare the small countries, Poland, Netherlands. They all were disrupted, and all the Jews were killed also there. So he thought that since it is difficult for them to stay in Germany, so it is better to move to some other country. They decided to move to the nearest country, Netherlands, where he started a business. And thereafter, when everything was settled down, they can have a comfortable life. He called rest of his family members, including Margot and Anne Frank and their grandmother. So everything was going on well till then, okay, till she was 13-year-old.